So
Hmm.
recovery in focus is for people in very early recovery. And we work with Jill. So Jill's one of our directors, and she's a long established and very well respected drug and alcohol counsellor, Jill Whittingham. And I met her in rehab. It was only her group that I enjoyed on a Thursday morning. And a few years after I left, I asked if we could, because I knew Jill loved photography, and she's in recovery herself. She just hit 20 years in recovery.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, and I just asked, hey, can't we do something together? Photography in a therapeutic way. And we came up with Recovery in Focus, and that's been incredibly popular. And now it's lottery backed as well. We've just
Yes, I
received,
saw that.
yeah, we've just received 5 years of funding. We started to, yeah, no, not 5 years, 2 years.
So what
But
does it involve?
it involves lots of beaches because I manipulate where we go. So,
And you
um,
keep away from mountains, I understand.
oh, I'm kind of happier at sea level.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I can
I had an interesting discussion with Alex when she was here in Perth.
yeah. Well, every time I go up a mountain, a wolf tries to kill me. So,
Yeah, well, no, that we've got that one on film. Not the attempted killing, but your
no,
comments
there's
about it.
no. Yeah, wolf doesn't leave witnesses. No. Uh, yeah, I'm much happier at sea level. Yeah, so it's kind of it's quite simple really. The We skill people up in photography, but on their own phones. Because yes, we have nice cameras here, and we could
Mhm.
use those. But at the end of the project, they won't have a nice camera straight away. They might want to
Mm.
buy it, but they won't have it. And who carries a nice camera around with them all the time? But we all have our phones, and we pretty much all have phones with cameras on. So we skill people up to use a camera phone really, really well and get some really good shots on it. So we go through different rules of composition and lighting and support people in that, and get them thinking differently. Um, and the kind of aim of it is, so we'll take people all over the place. We'll take people to exhibitions. We'll take kind of photography exhibitions, getting them thinking how famous photographers kind of look at things, and we'll take people to cities and beaches. And have we done a mountain? Not yet, but we might fit one in the next 2 years. On other projects, we have done mountain stuff.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I've seen some photographs.
yeah, not too far from a car park, but we've done it. Um, at the end, so people take lots and lots and lots of photos. They have to take one photo that represents their addiction and one photo that represents their recovery, and then do a little write up. So at the end of 10 weeks, and they'll submit one of each. Well, they'll submit one of each week, and then at the end of it, they'll decide which one's going to go into an exhibition. And the thing about addicts, we can't have one of anything. So trying to get somebody to submit just one and actually choose one is an ordeal.
That's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah. So
How often are they with you? You say it's 10 weeks. How many hours are they spending with you each week?
we do a full day once every Wednesday. So
Okay.
it's a Wednesday in the classroom, and then a Wednesday out on a location shoot, and then it's another Wednesday in the classroom, and then people will kind of work with Jill and one of the guys or myself to kind of dissect and debrief what people were thinking at the time, and um, you know kind of why they took a photo of that. Just talking about different photos and um, different ways of taking photos. But that kind of support network comes in throughout what they're doing. A byproduct of that is new friends, new clean friends, new sober friends, support network they didn't have before. Um, kind of a WhatsApp group. I'm thinking of making an app to tie everybody together as well. Um, and families get involved as well. You know, on the last one we had Lowry, and at the exhibition, her nan and her mum turned up, and her mum got up and said a few words about, you know, how amazing it's been for Lowry and all the rest of it. And then her nan gets up and says it's just amazing to have Lowry back, and everyone's in pieces at this point, you know, kind of everyone just in bits. But the self-esteem, the confidence, and the, you know, the creative process that people are going through over the way, you know, over those 10 weeks, we found it's a good thing to do one a week, because people get to ferment their thoughts over that week, you know, and get in touch with each other and go out on their own. More and more people just go out on their own with their camera and start taking other photos, and, you know, really get into it as they go. That week gives people the time, because they're getting high-end photography skills off people that, you know, we're you know, we've got a BAFTA winner on board, so they're getting high-end photography skills for their camera phones.
Does Peter come up for that? Peter being the BAFTA?
He has been up, yeah.
Yeah, so he comes up for that sometime?
He has been up. I have to invite him up again, yeah. Yeah, and he'll do like a masterclass with people. Yeah.
So they're getting, really, they're getting all these other life skills by learning a specific skill, photography, but they're gaining all of the human interactions, the trust, all of those things that have been destroyed or impaired through their periods of addiction.
Yeah, and it's and we kind of mix it with people that have longer terms of recovery under their belt as well. And one thing about recovery that I've noticed, it works through osmosis. You know, people, I know if I'm around people that swear a lot, I end up swearing a lot. And if I'm around people that are in recovery, doing well, if I'm around positively charged people, I start to think positively, and it just works for osmosis. I feel very much, you know, you've got people in recovery, early recovery, you've got people with substantial recovery under their belts and proving it's possible. Because the one thing you don't get to see in addiction is people in recovery. You know, so how do you know it's even possible? You know, you might know somebody that's been off to rehab and then they come back on the streets because they haven't done it. And the only feedback you're getting, the only review you're getting is, yeah, rehab doesn't work. Detox doesn't work, or recovery, recovery, you can't recover, because you're only meeting people in addiction that have relapsed.
And the ones in recovery, they've gone off down the other streets.
Got nothing in common anymore. You know, people in recovery have nothing to do with people in addiction. People in addiction have there's nothing in common anymore. So, you know, your interests aren't the same. You know, your needs aren't the same. So yeah, the people in recovery, well, they're kind of off and running and, you know, getting a life back, or not getting a life back, but, you know, kind of finding a new way to live, kind of thing. But that doesn't just happen on Recovery and Focus. That just happens carte blanche across everything that we do. And that's the way we design things.